What's going on, everybody? I'm back, your boy, once again, that man Dooley. Okay, and I'm here to talk some sports. More specifically, we're gonna talk about the NFL Week 2 recap, catch up with some of my boys right here. My boys, introduce yourselves to the people, man.
You already know who it is. It's your boy X Williams from your favorite sports talk show, X Talking Ish. We appreciate you, Dooley, for having us on today's show.
Yeah, man. It's your boy Ish from X Talking Ish. So just coming out here and showing some love, supporting Dooley because he's always on our show. We love having him out there. So we gotta return the favor and get out here and chat it up with you a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the favor is absolutely I appreciate you guys so much for doing such. Let me just put that out there right now, okay? Now, let's get into it, boys. First things first, okay? Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ladies and gentlemen, are these Bucks gonna win it again? Are they hot? Let's talk about their last 6 games. Forget about the before the playoffs. They've won about 6, 7 straight. This is just about Brady's best start to a season he's ever had. It's up there with a bunch of them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know what you guys feeling about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because I'm here to tell you, if they don't make it all the way back to the promised lands, they will be in the discussion come playoff time. And I'm talking NFC Championship at the least. Tell me what you guys feel, man.
I mean, I can go ahead and start off real quick. I see him going back to the Super Bowl. Right now, I don't think anybody out there can say that they don't see this team going all the way back to the Super Bowl. I'm just not seeing anything from any of the other teams in the NFC that leads me to believe that anybody out there can beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come playoff time when it matters. You got Mr. the GOAT, Tom Brady. I mean, and that alone should just already put everything in their favor. So, I mean, when you're talking about like that, unfortunately, Tampa Bay is going to be back in the Super Bowl for me.
I mean, it seemed like it was very short and sweet for Ish on that one. I'm not going to commit to him just yet. 2 weeks into the season, I think the NFC is very strong this season. And yes, I do believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can definitely easily get to an NFC championship game. I just don't want to say yes just yet to saying that they are Super Bowl bound after 2 weeks of football because, yes, even though they did, of course, beat the Falcons this week, they beat a pretty good Cowboys team on Thursday Night Football.
Yes.
That was with some missing players that the Cowboys had. And with
Wouldn't
that
have
being
mattered,
said,
but
some people
continue.
they had some missing players, but also
It wouldn't have mattered.
they
Right.
also of course left some the Cowboys left some points on the field to where some Cowboys fans feel like maybe
Coulda, woulda,
they
shoulda.
could have won that game, right? Okay, but that's here nor there. Moving forward, what I'm going to do is look into what we have upcoming instead of looking in the past. And this upcoming game Sunday, the LA Rams. This is the test. This
Yes.
is this is the game that could be the NFC championship game right here.
I mean,
We
possibly.
I
I'll
don't,
tell
I
you
don't
what,
believe
the
that.
Rams also.
Ish, you're shaking your head. Why are you saying? Why are you saying no?
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
shaking my
go
head.
ahead.
I'm shaking my head because, to be honest with you guys, after what happened last year, I don't care what happens in the regular season for Tampa Bay. It doesn't matter. All of that you're talking about right now. Oh, this could be the NFC Championship game. You're right on that accord, right? It could actually turn out to be the NFC Championship game. The problem is, it doesn't matter if they lose because we saw what happened against the Chiefs last year. These fools went out there, they got blown out against the Chiefs, and everybody was saying, "Oh, it's just a potential Super Bowl matchup. Oh, look what the Chiefs did." Everybody was high and mighty on the Chiefs after what happened during the regular season. And then what did these fools come out and do other than just blank these boys
Stink
out
up the
in the
joint.
Super Bowl? So, I mean, to me, it doesn't matter if the Rams come out with the best game plan in the world and they make them look stupid. That does not matter with these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What matters is in come playoff time, and That's for me why I'm just shaking my head over here. Like I don't care. They could lose. They lose by 50 points. I still say they make it to the Super Bowl.
Well, I
I
appreciate is
agree.
for interrupting what I was saying. What I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that they are going to lose a couple of games throughout the regular season before they head to the playoffs because
Absolutely. I know. I'm
and
not going to
again
sit here and
that's
say they're going to go undefeated. You
No,
know, I
no.
don't think Ish is either. You know,
Mm-mm.
but
yes.
when it comes to crunch time,
What I'm
put it
getting
this way. You remember
what I'm
last
getting
year?
at is
Okay. No, I was just
what
going to
I'm
say.
getting at. Yeah, good, yeah, good. What I'm
Go
getting
ahead.
at
No, go
is
ahead. Go ahead.
the season has just started. We do not know what is going to happen at week 17, where Gronk might go down, AB might
That
go
wouldn't
down,
matter.
might be some defensive players
That
go
man's on the COVID
there.
list now.
Look, I'm just saying there are going to be some things that are going to happen throughout the season that might hinder the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to getting to the Super Bowl. These are legitimate hurdles
Concerns. Yeah.
that could happen for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm not saying it's going to happen. I will say after 2 weeks they do look the most complete team. They do look like they are mid-season form, ready to make another run at it. They do look like one of the better teams to come off of a championship and say, "Hey, let's go run it back." They do look like that, but it's only week 2. Let's wait till we get to week 12, everybody. All right,
No,
that's all I'm saying.
absolutely. You know, the
That's
season
all.
is young.
But I'll say no, they're not looking like Super Bowl champs because I want to see more. That's all.
What more do
Absolutely.
you want to
Because
see?
I want to see more of
hold on.
that, Ish. I want to see
Listen, just for the
more.
record, the Raiders are also 2-0. And I love the
Oh, don't
Raiders.
worry. Don't worry. I got something for them too.
Hold on.
I got something for them
Hold on.
too.
Listen. The Raiders is also 2-0. But let me tell you something about the Raiders. Last time the Raiders were 2-0, they went 4-12 on the season. You know, so I want to see more out the Raiders. By the way, my boy Bryson says, Dooley, what's going on, my brother? I
What's
see
going
you.
on?
Here, my sports chat. Oh man, please, my brother, we need action, man. I love it. I love it. Support. We need it. I love it. And as usual, you know how we do in the Bay. Raiders. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, man. Let's move on, man. You know, enough of these Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because at the end of the day, it's none of our teams. You know, so but we just love to talk because that's what we do, baby. Okay. Let's get into it, man. Chiefs versus Ravens. Is this a new era for the Ravens when it comes to this rivalry? Now, listen, before you say anything, Kansas City, because we have a Kansas City Chiefs fan in the building right now. Okay, we're gonna go to my man Xavier first.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
make
ahead.
it nice
Go
and
ahead.
sweet, baby. I'd love to hear what you have to say before Ish goes. Okay.
I mean, for you to say it's a new era for the Ravens for this rivalry is still kind of disrespectful to this quote unquote rivalry because it took Lamar 6 chances now to finally beat Patrick Mahomes. And again, this is a week 2 matchup that don't really mean anything unless it's in the playoffs when it really matters because Patrick Mahomes has a MVP. He has a Super Bowl and also Super Bowl MVP. Lamar has a Super Bowl. I'm sorry, he has an MVP in the regular season. Of course, that means something. But when you haven't been able to achieve the same type of playoff success that Patrick Mahomes has, it just doesn't equal up. So this win is great for Baltimore, their fan base, Lamar Jackson, the Ravens as a whole. And I hope that they can build on it. I hope Lamar Jackson can build off of this and continue to play well and get better. But at the end of the day, can Lamar sustain the type of offense that they are doing when it comes to him, of course, being a passer and also being a main runner in that offense? Because it comes down to, okay, well, if he's not going to get hurt, because it seems like he's pretty durable as a football player. He's not a quarterback, he's a football player. There's a difference. Will he be able to endure this for 18 weeks of the season into the playoffs and then also maybe even to a Super Bowl? That's yet to be determined. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Lamar after this win? Will we see the whole narrative change for Lamar? Will he start getting him some dubs? Or will Patrick say, okay, you got one, and I'm gonna continue to keep doing what I'm doing? That's what yet to be determined. But I just don't see it right now this season. If they were to meet in the playoffs, I think the Chiefs will win just due to the more healthier bodies that they have. Because the Ravens running back wise still banged up compared to what the Chiefs have as a whole on the offensive side of the ball. But for the Ravens, it's something great to build off of.
No, absolutely. Before you even go, Ish, let me just add, I agree with you 100%. So, but some people out there may disagree on this topic. Obviously, Lamar Jackson has not proven he is the caliber quarterback as a Pat Mahomes. Okay, so let's just get that off the table right now. He hasn't won the Super Bowl. Okay, he doesn't have a Super Bowl MVP. Okay, so therefore, we cannot put him on Patrick Mahomes' level. Okay, but that was a great win for the Ravens. Absolutely great win. It was a great game. I'm not going to take anything away from that win. You know what I mean? So, and who knows for Lamar, this might be the first of many. We don't know, but he has to prove it. So I agree with you 100%. To call it a new era would just be false. Go ahead, Ish.
I agree with X as far as him saying, what rivalry? This is not a rivalry. I mean, this is the first time in how many attempts he's finally beat the Chiefs. Honestly, I think as well, it's a fluke. I don't think that it was necessarily. I'm not going to say that you didn't earn a win because every win that you have in the NFL is earned. But what I will say, and what I will just provide the caveat with is, we know that Chiefs defense is bad. I came on the show last week and I talked about how the defense needed to improve, how bad that defense is. That defense has for a while been a liability for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's just that Patrick Mahomes and that offense has been able to cover up some of the glaring holes that defense has had. Also, it was first week back for Frank Clark, which I think he's still getting back into the swing of things. Tyrann Mathieu, first week back, but we saw what he was able to do. So I definitely think we have to pump the brakes a little bit. It was a good win for the Ravens. It was a needed win for the Ravens, considering how the AFC North is definitely going to be a toss-up division. All the teams right now are currently sitting at 1-1. It's going to be very competitive in that division, so they needed this win. And I think part of that is what fueled them. They needed to get this win, so they went out and they played a little bit more with a little more urgency. But for me, I still don't think this is a rivalry. I still think that if we play again, if we play 10 times, the Chiefs win 9 out of 10. So I just don't know right now as far as, are the Ravens the real deal? Is it a new era for them? No, I don't think so.
Right. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you both. But I just had to discuss what's been in the air. And if I disagreed, both you guys would know. Okay. But I'm riding with both of you. It's not a rivalry until the Ravens have at least won 3-4 games or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The first if they beat them in the playoffs this year, then it's definitely it escalates a little bit more to a rivalry.
Right. Okay, hold on. My man T Diggs said Raiders winning the AFC West. You know what? I don't think I'm ready to get into that, T Diggs. Because honestly, do the Raiders have a shot? Yes, but what did I just say? They went 4-12 the last time they went 2-0. So I'm gonna need 4-0 out of the Raiders first.
Hey, I actually backed T Diggs. That's my that was my overreaction from week 2. I think the Raiders gonna win the AFC West.
Right, and this is a Kansas City Chiefs fan right here, and my boy B Bagby says, but the Raiders have no defense. They do now. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Raiders defense been looking nice, okay? But we're not here to get into the Raiders, man. You Raiders fans go home, okay? Anyways, let's continue this. So now we already discussed Lamar Jackson. Okay, Stephen A had brought up something about a week ago saying you cannot win a Super Bowl with this type of quarterback. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel about that in the comments, first of all. Can you win a Super Bowl with an MVP quarterback, but he's based as a running quarterback primarily? He can get the pass done, but he is not what you want at a passer, as a passer. So tell me how you guys feel about that, man. Ish, start this off, man. And don't be biased. Okay?
Nah,
That's fair. Okay.
nah. So let me just say this. I agree with Stephen A. as far as Lamar in his current state. Um, if that's what he's referring to, then yes, I 100% agree. You cannot win a Super Bowl with this type of quarterback. And what I mean by that is where he relies solely upon his legs and his arm is so inconsistent that defenses basically can stack the box against a team and dare you to beat them through the air, and you can't do it. Like we have seen it time and time again against Lamar Jackson in crunch time when it matters. Teams just stack the box and then they say, all right, man, throw the ball outside the numbers. Because the key is up until this year, and this season, he's shown some improvement in this. His completion percentage outside the numbers is outside the hash is horrendous. It is horrendous. The man cannot throw outside of the hash marks to save his life. Unless it's to a tight end, you just do not see him throwing the ball outside the hash marks. You don't see him throwing the ball to wide receivers. This year, he has shown some improvement there, but it's still not consistent enough to say that you can win a Super Bowl with him because the game plan to beat the Ravens is very easy. Stack the box and dare him to beat you through the air, and he cannot do it. Now, if you talk about a quarterback who is a little more consistent with his arm, I think that this is the new era in the NFL. I think you're moving towards more mobile quarterbacks. You're moving towards quarterbacks that are going to challenge you in the run game more. And I think that it's going to become a liability not to have a quarterback that can move the ball with his legs. But you have to be consistent as a passer in order to be a contender for the Super Bowl. And I think that's what hinders Lamar Jackson is he's just not consistent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hold on. Before we get to you, X, let's check out these comments real quick. Okay. We just got a few. Okay. He says, my man B Bagby says, I feel the same way. You, my man, keeping it lit right now. You got to be able to stand in the pocket. Absolutely. You got to step up in the pocket. You got to make a play. Luckily, he has the best legs we've ever seen outside of Vic, So it's like, hopefully he can save himself in other ways. But that running lane ain't always going to be there, But yeah, just like the Raiders just did Lamar, Right. The Raiders got to win on Lamar this season. And Lamar played good that game, So shout out to the Raiders once again, man. X, talk to me, baby.
Before we start this off, I don't want this to be a witch hunt of Lamar Jackson. First thing first, let's get this out of the way. Lamar Jackson is a great football player. He wouldn't be where he is. Wouldn't have the accolades he has gotten if he was not a hellified football player in the first place. That's the first thing I'm gonna get out there, because to people that don't play sports, and I'm talking to you two and the people that are listening to us, when we talk about athletes, to other people that don't understand it, it seems like we're hating on them, or we don't think what they are doing is good enough. No, that's not the case at all. We speak on certain athletes because we see the potential and how great you are, and we're trying to get the most out of you, because because we see versions of ourselves, of course, when we played, when we know, like, oh man, we run a 4-4, we expect to do this, we expect to do that, blah, 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 on whatever position on the field, right? With Lamar, we know how great you are with your legs, but every football player that I talk to, no matter if you're young or old, everybody that I talk to about Lamar, and this is if you're not a starry-eyed fan of Lamar, is he is just not consistent throwing the ball down the field. And that is just his main liability, and why he is not a complete quarterback. Once he completes that, it's just like, and me and Dooley have talked about this since our TSU days when it comes to LeBron James. once Lamar is able to take that next step and become a complete passer, it will open up everything even more for him on the offensive side of the ball, and he will be the complete weapon that he has been designed to be, to
Yes.
where he will become unstoppable. But we are only going to be able to see one version of him if he does not decide to take those extra reps in the offseason and say, I'm going to put in this work, learning how to climb up the pocket, learning how to stay in the pocket a little bit more so I can go ahead and have that dump off pass to the running back, so I can go ahead and have those extra downs instead of using my legs to also maybe unfortunately get myself hurt as well, because I'm putting my body in harm's way and not giving the ball off to one of my playmakers that can score, that can get a first down and even score a touchdown for me.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you 100%. My man T. Diggs says Lamar is a great quarterback and hella young still. Mahomes has spoiled us. No one has ever done what Mahomes has done so early in their career. I'm with you, my man. Obviously, we're all looking at Mahomes and we're kind of comparing everybody to Mahomes. Well, it's just not like that, So I hear you. Maybe we're being a little too tough. We're just stating the facts on where he needs to get better at. But to be honest, let's just be honest. Worst quarterbacks have won Super Bowls.
Well,
So
the one thing I wanted to add
let's just
on
put
to,
this out.
more time,
Worst
Dooley?
quarterbacks have won. Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
No, I would just one thing I was just going to say is, for Lamar to win a Super Bowl, it's not that he can't win it this way, because I just don't think that he can. I just feel like even quarterbacks that have lost Super Bowls were quarterbacks that were still able to throw from the pocket first and then run. Talk about guys like a Colin Kaepernick, even a guy like a Russell Wilson. He lost, he was won one, he lost one. A Donovan McNabb, a Steve McNair, right? I'm talking about guys that were not run first quarterbacks because they were pocket passers first, and then if things broke down, they used their legs to make something happen. And I just think that unfortunately with Lamar, defenses are going to adapt sooner rather than later when it comes to playing more contained type of defenses on Lamar, to make him have to beat you throwing the ball. And if he is just not able to do that, you're only going to see 75% of Lamar instead of us being able to see 100% of Lamar.
Right. No, I'm with you 100%. It's like, with me, I'm just so 50-50 on the situation, because going back to what I just said, worst quarterbacks have won the Super Bowl, Trent Dilfers of the world. Lamar could have won it with the 2000 Ravens defense too, for sure. If you put Lamar in there. Matter of fact, they would have been better with Lamar. The 2000 Ravens, yeah. But I'm just saying, but can Lamar win it with this team? Probably not, because the defense is not what it once was, So without the defense being what it once was, Lamar's for sure going to need a top-notch defense. And those injuries just ain't doing it for me, okay? But guess what? Enough of Lamar. We moving on, baby, okay? Now, what we talking about next is the team that underachieved/overachieved this last weekend, man. So, I start this off, man. I let y'all start off all the time, okay? I'm just going to go with overachieved, man. The Buffalo Bills overachieved, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you out there that really don't understand this game of foosball, you see, in the professional ranks, when a team goose eggs another team, no matter if it's the best team to the worst team, that is still rare. It is still unheard of. The Buffalo Bills overachieved for me this weekend. They blew out the Miami Dolphins 35-0, easy money. Anyways, go ahead, man. Somebody tell me something. Hold on. We got a comment. What we got here? even if they ain't better QBs, they was better QBs first. Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what my man's saying. He's saying, okay, people like Trent Dilfer, for instance, were still a better thrower than Lamar, pretty much. I think we all can agree to that in the pocket. Who else can we name? Joe Flacco. He's not better than Lamar, but still a better thrower than Lamar. Obviously, who else can we really put on this list that wasn't a great quarterback? Brian Greasy, probably still a better thrower than Lamar. And for those of you who don't know who that is, that's the quarterback from the Super Bowl. The time the Bucks won the Super Bowl, they actually whooped the Raiders. With you Raider fans watching right now, they whooped them. Okay. Anyways, let me hide that. Get my composure back. Yes. So, team that underachieved / overachieved most this weekend, man. Ish, give me something.
Okay, I'll go ahead, and I've got a little shock of a pick that I'm gonna go with. But
you better not take. All I know is you better not take my pick.
If you watched our show yesterday, then it's kind of like a foreshadow to that, because my overachiever actually didn't win the game, but they definitely overachieved in the Houston Texans. I mean, the Houston Texans playing that game against Cleveland. Honestly, if Tyrod Taylor doesn't go down, they might actually win that game. They were in that game and close enough that they potentially could have beat the Cleveland Browns, who a lot of people think they have the ability to go to the AFC Championship game and compete for an AFC Championship. They may even win the AFC North. So I just, man, the Texans, to me, they are overachieving. Can you get them to play like this week in and week out is what I'm actually on the lookout for. I can't wait for the game tomorrow, even though they got Davis Mills starting, because I just want to see the mentality they come out with. X and I talk about this all the time. Last year with the San Francisco 49ers, even though they didn't perform well, one of the things that was really fun to watch about the 49ers is that week in and week out, they came out ready to play, and they gave everybody they played a good game. They didn't have the record, and they had a lot of injuries, but you knew when you were watching San Francisco play last year that they were going to give whoever they played a good game. And with the Houston Texans right now, from what I've seen the first 2 weeks, they're definitely overachieving for me, because I did not have a lot of faith in them going into this season. And based off what I'm seeing right now, they may actually be in the hunt somehow for the AFC South. Oh, Lord.
They won't be, but continue.
Right. No, right? No, but the division does suck, honestly. So who knows? But yeah, I hear you.
Who knows?
But yeah, X. So what you got? What you got?
So I'll go with my underachieved team. And first things first, last week, if you joined this show for my boy Dan Dooley, he brought me on specifically because he wants to talk down on my Tennessee Titans and what they did not do at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Respectfully so, I told him, hey, got to take the L, chalk it up, keep moving. Well, Tennessee goes to Seattle. They were able to squeak out a win against Seattle. And for that reason, I have to go with my underachieving team is the Seattle Seahawks, because all time under Pete Carroll, the Seahawks are 85-0 when having a lead with more than 15 points going into the second half of any ball game, and they ended up blowing a 15-point lead and losing a ball game in overtime. With that being said, if they ended up winning that game, Seattle goes 2-0, Tennessee goes 0-2, and it's a completely different storyline. So I have to go ahead and give them my underachieving team for the week. My overachieving team, as much as I don't want to do it, I'm going to have to. Now, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to switch it up. I was going to pick the Raiders, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to pick the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah,
I'll pick the Carolina Panthers
nice.
because week one, no one took the Panthers seriously after they beat the New York Jets, and this is understandable. No, We all expect no one to take the Panthers series after beat the Jets. It's fine. But to be able to hold the New Orleans Saints to 7 points after coming
Oh,
off of
here
a
we
week,
go with this nonsense.
No,
what?
Here
it
we
was
go
impressive,
with this
bro.
It
nonsense.
was. It was.
Oh,
No, look, no. He mad. He mad because I talked very highly about Jameis. I talked very high about Jameis and what he did in week 1. But it's just. I'm serious. You have to give props to Carolina on both sides of the ball. The way that they're playing defense, they're number one in total yardage. The way that they're playing offense with Sam Darnold. A lot of
are we
people
going
expect
here
Sam
again?
Darnold to be
Are we
trash.
going here again?
Period. But I'm going to give my props to the Carolina Panthers after 2 weeks. Still a long season, but after 2 weeks, I have to shout out to them for doing what they did against the New Orleans Saints, and by holding them to 7 points.
Bruh, we're going here again. Like, you really starting with this again? You gave
What
them
did
the
I do?
overachievers.
What did I do?
You gave them the overachievers when they played Zach Wilson week 1. Who? What did he do in week 2? Oh, he just came out and threw 4 interceptions. So I mean, it's not like they played somebody good. And then they came out and played against the blind man that is Jameis Winston.
He got his eyes fixed, obviously, after week
Hey,
1.
think about what
obviously
happened week
it's not
1, though.
working.
Ish. Think about what happened week 1. He had 38. He put
He
38
had-
on the board.
He had 5 touchdowns with the lowest total yards in NFL history. The defense set everything up for him. He did nothing. He did not do anything. He showed in week 2, he showed Jameis Winston to be Jameis Winston. He came out and did exactly what you expect Jameis Winston to do. Everybody was giving him props. Everybody was high on him. And then what did he do? He came out and he laid a damn goose egg. This man threw 2 interceptions. He didn't have any touchdowns. I mean, it was horrendous.
Okay,
It
I have a
was
question.
ugly.
I have a question for you, Ish. Will we see week 1 Jameis against the Patriots, or will we see week 2 Jameis against the Patriots?
I think we're gonna see week 2 Jameis. I think
and
Bill
then
Belichick
also
excited
and
to
then
play
also
Patriots.
and then also are we going to see a very good Carolina team on Thursday against the Texans? Because you said the Texans are your overachieving team. They're supposed to come in and play well at home Thursday night game. Maybe they can still win against the Panthers. Or do you think the Panthers are going to come in and take this game against the Texans? What do you think?
Are you joking right now?
I'm so serious.
Davis Mills. Davis
Does
Mills.
Davis
Are you
Mills
being
pulls
serious?
off a Thursday night upset? We don't
Let me say
know.
this. If Davis Mills comes out and pulls off an upset against the Carolina Panthers were the biggest imposters in the NFL. I will just say that right now. If the Carolina Panthers
Oh Lord.
come
fair.
into
That's
Houston and lose to Davis Mills and the Houston Texans, I don't care if I gave them the overachiever. If they beat the Carolina Panthers are an imposter. They should not play any more games. The Carolina Panthers should be ashamed if they come into Houston and lose to Davis Mills. Davis Mills, that's the guy you talking about potentially. If you better shut them out. I don't even want the Texans to score points. Like, they should number 1 defense, right? You just talked all this nonsense about number 1 defense statistically.
So, Dooley,
they
I
better
guess-
statistically not let them score any points.
I guess that's a no then.
Yeah, no, I mean, no. Ish got his feelings about it, and you got your feelings. At the end of the day, it's your pick, So if you feel like the Panthers overachieved, But I hear you. It's definitely good commentary. I'm loving it. You got to challenge a man's pick sometimes. Like, you guys could have hit me with the Dolphins suck, bro. The Bills were supposed to do that. But
the
like,
Dolphins,
with Tua
with
getting hurt and everything, come
Tua
on,
getting
man.
hurt, they suck now. But
right. So
Nah.
let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you in the crowd watching, I got a segment I like to call 30 seconds. Okay. And it's 30 seconds on what your team needs to do to get better. Obviously, I'm a Washington football fan. Boom, you got the Tennessee Titan fan. Boom, you got the Kansas City Chiefs fan. Okay. So I'll start it off, okay? I'm loving the win. We got to win. We're 1-1 on the season, which is a beautiful thing, okay? But the defense is still trash. Trash, okay? From where it was supposed to be last season. Okay, we were expecting to have one of the best defenses in the NFL. Did that happen, ladies and gentlemen? No, it didn't happen. We came in week 1 and we stunk up the joint. Then week 2, we won, but we stunk up the joint. Okay, so the team needs help defensively. They need help with their pass rush. Put it this way: some of the money they're paying those people on the line, they need to retract some of those contracts. Period. They need to release salary cap because there's no pressure on opposing quarterbacks, okay? Which is not helping the defensive backs whatsoever. So that's my 30 seconds on what the Washington football team needs to do to be a better team, okay? X, what you got for me?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Real talk. That was a great win for the Tennessee Titans, being able to find something within them to be able to get a win on the road, knowing that if you go down to 0-2, it's going to be very hard to get out of that hole to try to not just win or not just make the playoffs, but also, of course, win the division. With that being said, use this as fuel going into week 3, playing against a division foe with the Indianapolis Colts, and just get better on both sides of the ball. I know it's easier said than done, but it is what it is. You have injuries on both sides, and we just need to get healthy and just continue to keep playing and don't let the refs dictate the game. Make sure that you control the game, not let the refs control it.
I love it. I love it. What you got for me, Ish?
I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Tyrann Mathieu, Frank Clark, all my guys over there, the leaders on that Kansas City defense, y'all need to pull everybody into a room and y'all need to have a real serious talk, okay? Because when you've got the number 3 highest scoring offense in the NFL, you've scored 68 points across 2 weeks in the NFL, and your opponents have scored 65 points.
Wow.
You got the dead last defense in the league. Dead last. In a top 10 offense. That defense, no one in Kansas City is wondering why they lost the game. Everybody knows. It's pretty obvious. That defense needs to get in a room. Y'all need to talk it out, figure out what is going wrong and fix it. Because they will be if the Kansas City Chiefs do not win the Super Bowl this year, if they don't go to the Super Bowl this year, everybody's going to be looking at that defense, and it should be a complete cleaning house. Complete clean house. They need to find some guys that want to play and hit somebody.
Agreed. I'm with you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes another Dat Man Dooley live episode. Appreciate you for tuning in once again. You know where to find me. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook, baby. Okay? But once again, boys, let them know who you are, man.
Y'all know where to find us at X Talking Ish on all social media platforms. And of course, if you want to check us out on our podcast, more than welcome to hit us up on all streaming platforms on X Talking Ish. I am X Williams.
And I'm Ish.
And this is Dat Man Dooley, baby. Dat Man.